Back at it at the Classic Auto Mall podcast on a lovely Saturday morning in March. March the 26th is the day we're recording this, and it'll air on April the 2nd or somewhere in that area. So we, at some point in time, will go back to live, although we record it live, right? We don't stop. We don't fix the mistakes. I mean, I have a tendency not to make any mistakes.
They used to call it live to tape.
Live to tape.
But we don't have tape.
But
we have digital. We have digital.
We have some kind of way that it holds the information somewhere into a box, and then later we can retrieve it when necessary, right?
We can alter your voice. We can alter your face. There's no limit to what we can do.
Well, let's keep it. Speaking of, we were talking about Ferrari a minute ago. They're building an SUV now, of course, duh.
I saw that.
Lamborghini's got one, the Ursus, and
Ursus,
and then Rolls-Royce has the Cullinan, which are like $600,000 now.
And Bentayga, Bentley Bentayga.
Yeah. I drove one of those
Did you?
one time. Yeah, it was pretty cool. It was,
It's does it feel like a $350,000?
I don't know. I think when you get to that level, it's all just kind of, it feels really nice, My buddy over in the center of the state had one of those. He has Bentley Mulsannes. He buys those, the big 4 doors, and man, that's a dynamite car. I mean, and the thing that's great about the Bentley Mulsanne is that when you pull up, not everybody really knows what it is. A lot of people might get it completely wrong. And so anyway.
We have an older Bentley in stock.
We do.
And it's reasonably priced. I don't know what the maintenance is on those things or anything, but I mean, we were talking to Ethan. That'd be a good daily driver for you.
There you go, and make you look like you're part of, this thing that we got going on here. So
it's amazing.
Yeah, the Bentleys are, just remember though, the $500 or the $5,000 Bentley, when you go to repair it, is still the $250,000 Bentley.
That's right. The most expensive cars are the cheapest cars.
Right,
That's
exactly.
what they say.
So,
and I think the oil changes on those things are like,
oh my God,
it's like 20 quarts of oil.
Yeah. Well, remember in the day when the 928 Porsche came out, that to change the spark plugs, you had to pull the engine.
Oh.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Way to go, Mr. Head Engineer.
I've got a buddy restoring one. He's online, Guys with Rides,
right.
Rudy, and he is banging his head
Oh,
again.
I can only imagine. And I tell you what's coming into favor with the Porsche crowd is the 968, which I always liked the 968.
I'm with you.
Better version of the 944. It had a cool look to it. One on Bring a Trailer just brought $160-something thousand with low mile. No,
I mean, they used to be 20. They're great. I'm a big 968 fan because, again, they're odd, they're weird. You're going to have the Porsche Club on at some point, and they have some fine examples in their club that they show at Radnor and other places.
They're coming here April the 16th to have their meeting, and we're going to have the president, Jeff Walton, on the show, and we're going to talk about, he's with the Reason Toter.
Giant Killer, which means giant killer.
Well, of course, then what a great name that is. And I'm a new member of the Porsche Club of America, and I got my first newsletter, and it says, hey, we'll be coming to Classic Auto Mall. And I'm like, wait a minute, I didn't even know they were coming.
That's awesome.
I'm tragically out of the loop sometimes of things that are going on here, just because I got a lot going on. It's not like nothing.
It's a great club. They do a wonderful Fill a Frunk, they used to call it, Fill a Trunk event where they kind of caravan from King of Prussia down to the stadium area of Philadelphia. So you see 100 Porsches. It's
nice.
Awesome. Full of food, and they give it away, and it's a great club.
My buddy Bill Rothery and I were at Amelia Island a couple of years ago, and they had the Porsche Fest or whatever going on, and we were, when you're visiting a town or you're just with a buddy and something goofy, like you see a barn and you go, there's a barn and there's another barn. Hey, let's count how many barns we see. Well, the same with 911s. We're like, there's a 911. Well, there's another 911. Hey, we got to count the whole weekend. So about halfway through the weekend, we realized, why are we seeing so many 911? Well, had a 911 meet there.
Oh,
so we're thinking it was just
Amelia Island.
Dumb luck in Amelia Island.
Right.
There's so many.
The Porsche Club is one of those clubs where you have to have a VIN, you have
Right.
to have a Porsche to be in the club. So I'm sort of I'm observing,
Outlier.
right? Yeah, an outlier.
Do I need to buy you a Porsche? And we can make that happen. I want you guys to be connected here. I want you to feel like you're part of the team.
Yeah.
But I'm probably not.
We talked about that. There's so many clubs that between the two of us, we could join.
Sure.
I'd be broke just joining clubs.
So I'm a member. Was trying to think. I'm the member of the SCCA. I'm a member of the Porsche Club, the Mercedes Club. the Classic Car Club of America, the Antique Automobile Club of America. By the way, Antique Automobile Club of America, if you buy a car from Classic Automo, we give you a complimentary 1-year membership to the AACA.
Very cool.
You get a magazine, you get invited to the events. It's just a lot of cool stuff. And, you know, a lot of people have forgotten about the Antique Automobile Club of America, and it's an important part of the historical side of the hobby that we're in and what we do. And it's important that people stay connected like that. And it's a perfect way to connect with fellow gearheads, talk about Model A's or whatever it is you're into. And they're starting to be a little more flexible on what they're doing as far as years and makes and models and all that. So, you know, they're changing with the times, as a lot of these clubs are having to do. But if you get a chance, check out the AACA. So we're members of that. We're members of, I don't know, probably 8 or 10 clubs that we're members of. That things that, you know, we get the magazine. We, you know, but it's nice because if you're looking for a part or if you're looking for something that you need that's hard to find or unobtainium stuff, it's always nice when you have a club member to fall back on. But, you know, it's funny. We're involved with a lot of these clubs also with Classic Automo because we invite them to come out here and have their meetings like the Porsche Club. They can have their little cruise-ins. I say little, large cruise-ins as well, too. We have a 40-acre parking lot, so we got plenty of room for them to come and park their cars and come see Classic Automo. And Saturday mornings tend to be, you know, very popular with that. And we have a break room that you can have your meeting and elect your officers or whatever it is you do with your meeting. And
it's perfect.
And it's all complimentary.
It's perfect.
You know, you come out here and enjoy our facility, and you know, you killed 2 birds with 1 stone, or 3 birds, or however many birds you're trying to kill. I don't know. If I didn't talk about it, I saw Nicola Bulgari's place.
You did?
And what a wonderful place. And it's got it houses, and I didn't even realize this, the National Historic Vehicle Register Facility.
Interesting. And
this is it's owned by Hagerty, and I don't think anybody really realized that it was owned by Hagerty up until recently. Hagerty's Driver Foundation, which is their not-for-profit arm of Hagerty that keeps involvement in different things. And the Historic Vehicle Association was formed in 2009, and it's a legislative watchdog helping, you know, making sure that classic cars don't get outlawed. You know, that there's still going to be, you can still drive them on the street. There's never going to be a time when you can't drive your car. You've invested all this money and then you can't drive it because some government regulation says, well, you can't drive a car that is over 25 years old, or you can't do this or you can't do that. So that was what they came about. And then the register is endorsed by the U.S., the registry is endorsed by the U.S. Department of Interior, and it honors cars that are of historical significance. And it could be just a historical car, or it could be a specific car that was in a movie that people are, you know, recognize. The Lamborghini Countach was just recently done that was in Cannonball Run.
Okay, right.
The DeLorean from Back to the Future. I think they've done 30, but I mean, they give you this plaque. They take the car to Allentown. They have a photo booth that's amazing. They take pictures of it. They document it just completely. And it's an amazing thing. So if you get a chance, check it out. The National Historic Vehicle Register, and there's lots of stuff you can read online about it and find out more about it.
Is it open to the public? Or?
It is not.
It's not open
At
to the
some point in time, I think that is their plan. But they have a beautiful campus with a beautiful lodge and separate, you know, buildings that, that one does upholstery, one does body work and metal work, one does mechanical, and it's just, and then they have the museum side of it. And Nicola Bulgari is known for loving American cars and oddball American cars, 4-doors.
Is he an Italian?
Yeah, he's an Italian
resident, or
well, yeah, he's and the family is Bulgari Jewelry, which is a pretty big company. I think they sold for, you know, $5.3 billion or something.
Is that all?
Yeah. So
and it's the watches. People are more familiar with the watches.
With the watches, and their logo looks like the U in Bulgari is a V. So.
Oh, okay.
No, maybe you're supposed to pronounce it that way because I'm from East Tennessee. What do I know? What do I know about Bulgari jewelry?
West Tennessee people would know how to pronounce it.
Yeah, of course. Those Memphians, they would certainly know how to do it, and probably those guys down south in Chattanooga,
right?
Who we just spoke to our buddy Corky Coker yesterday in Chattanooga, and he's promised he's going to be on the show. So I'm goading you now, Corky, to be on the show, and we'll talk cars and have you on our Zoom meeting thing, and so we can see you and have fun with you and all that
great.
good stuff. He's a great guy and great ambassador to the hobby. For sure. In the SEMA Hall of Fame. Father started Coker Tire. He sold out a few years ago. Has Honest Charlie's Speed Shop now, and a neat place down in Chattanooga. If you've never been, go check it out. His museum is there, and then the Speed Shop is connected to it. And they make wood wheels.
Wood wheels,
yeah,
wow.
wood spoked wheels. You know, that's a dying art right there.
It is a dying art, and this is another. Not to keep pumping classic automobile, but if you want to see wooden spokes and how they were on trucks, vehicles, come here because we have the barn finds, obviously, and some of those are on wood wheels, and it's just fascinating.
Well, how about tires that have no air in them? They're
solid tires.
Either solid steel or solid rubber tires or solid wood, which is tough on traction. You want to have just a few horsepower if you're trying to on solid tires. My son doesn't understand much about cars, Marshall, and he is convinced that tires need to be solid rubber. And he does not understand why. And I said, well, because of the ride, you know.
Right.
So
I mean, if you've ever had, like, when you have a Mini Cooper, they come with run flats, which is like it's almost like a solid rubber tire.
Because it will run even when flat.
Right, because the sidewalls are solid, but it is not fun.
Well, it's like, you know, tires in general are not fun, especially around this part of the world. You know, I don't know why they put these thin tires on my wife's SUV.
Really?
Thin tires. You hit one of those turnbuckles on the interstate or the turnpike, and you can feel the tread separated. Now it feels like you're hydroplaning in the dry, so thank you, whoever has anything to do with that. But, you know, it's we can't have it all, and you know that with a sports car you expect the low profile tires, but on SUVs I don't quite understand it.
I don't either.
Doesn't make a whole lot.
Meanwhile, fix the potholes. It's pothole season here in Pennsylvania.
It is pothole season, including in our parking lot.
Watch out.
We have a few potholes. They happen, and of course it's not that we don't want to fix them. We just want to wait till it's not cold anymore, so it doesn't disrupt.
Yeah, even though we're in late March, there is potential for a freeze. So
well, I think tomorrow night, 20 degrees.
22 degrees tomorrow.
And I thank God I didn't put my firewood away.
I took most of the snow tires off cars, but we still have a few remnants. So we're good.
But you got a Subaru all-wheel drive.
Yeah, that's right.
You know,
exactly.
Which screams car guy, by the way. So, you know, Haggerty just posted something. I saw this: 5 Japanese cars almost nobody cares about, but should. One of them is pretty easy to guess, and that's the MR2 or the Mr. 2, which is an interesting little car. Those are 2000 to 2005 Toyota MR2 Spider. They're really fun little cars, almost like a Miata-ish car.
They are small.
They're not super powerful.
They remind me of the X19, the Fiat.
Actually,
in
better
sort of shape.
Better, likeness than that, than a Miata. Miata is a whole different animal. But it's interesting. You know, Haggerty does these. The Mazda Protege 5.
Love them.
What was the Mazda 6 wagon?
Yeah,
that was a cool car. People don't understand car guys' affliction for wagons.
It's a hot item right now, and I had a Volvo 850 turbo wagon. I love that thing.
Well, you know who else had those? Paul Newman and David Letterman.
Is that right?
They had high-performance Volvo wagons.
The R, probably.
Well, and I mean, I think they were skunk worked.
Skunk worked.
So, but anyway, when we return. We'll talk a little bit about how to consign your car at Classic Auto Mall, how to prepare it, how to set up shipping, all the different things that we do here. So we'll try to cover those bases when we return back in just a few minutes.